Hey guys, Ryan here, and today we're bringing you a featured replay from FOODY. Now, FOODY's obviously another YouTuber. I've featured replays of his before, and as I specified last time, I've been subscribed to him for years. I've been watching his content. I don't know how to link channels in my description box, so you'll see him in the comments below if you want to check out his channel. I'll make sure he puts a message there or I'll pin it for you all. He's also started streaming on YouTube as well if any of you are interested. But he sent me a replay in the Bourrasque. Now, this is going to be a huge game, let me tell you. It's going to be a bit of a slow start, but it's going to be a huge result. And on Mountain Pass, he is top tier, and there are tier 6s to artillery. He's going to come to the initial spotting position and do a bit of spotting. And while we're here, I'm just going to do a little bit of talk about the tank, because, I hope I'm not mistaken here, I'm pretty sure this tank is still on offer until Tuesday. Because I'm releasing this on the Saturday. So you've got till Tuesday to decide if you want this vehicle if you haven't already. And I'm going to explain to you why you probably will want it. Now, this tank is going to be hard to play because it's not got a lot of armor. You kind of got to use the camo on it to try and get around and not die. But, let me tell you, this tank is brilliant. I believe it's one of the hardest tanks to 3 mark at tier 8 in terms of the requirements needed. It's got a really high, or has had quite a high base XP requirement to ace it for quite a while. In fact, I'm not sure if I even aced it before. I might have. But this tank, like the Ragnarok, is a tank that a lot of the good players play a lot. Hence why the XP requirement is so high and why the thermal requirement is so high. What does the tank have? Well, it's French. It's got excellent camo for a medium, good view range. It's very fast. It's got a 2-round autoloader with 360 damage per shot and a 2-second interclip, so you can do up to 720 damage in 2 seconds, which allows you to burst people and then run away again. And because it's only got a 2-round clip instead of a bigger clip, some people fall into the trap of staying exposed to try and fire their clip in their autoloaders and they get shit on. Because you only have 2 shots here, you don't feel that need to stay out as long. It's also very small, making it harder to hit. And it gets APCR standard, which is quite nice and premium. No, not everything's good. I've said before, it doesn't have a lot of armor. The gun handling is god-awful. Like, we're talking 3.2 second aim time and 0.42 accuracy base. It's horrifying, but like, trust me, don't let that make you think it's a terrible vehicle. And the penetration on the stand rounds isn't the greatest. 190 is decent, but if you're coming up against like even some tier 8 tanks like KV4s, V101Ps, the likes of that, you're going to need the premium. Now, FOODY's moved forward to the, I don't even know what you call this position, but it's a very good position to go to on this map from either spawn. If you can win this position, you actually have like a decent control over the map to get shots on multiple directions. And as you saw, after FOODY fired a shot at his second shot at the Banshee Comet blind, he saw the T-28 crossing the bridge. He didn't get the shot at him, but you could have, if you had the ammo there, get shots at people crossing the bridge. You could shoot the people down here in the middle, which as you can see is a VK, IS-3 and a KV-3, I believe. Now FOODY gets very unlucky to only crit damage the first shot and bounce the second one off this tier 6 VK thing. As I said, the gun handling on this vehicle is pretty bad. For the most part, but it works well enough if you properly aim your shots in. But FOODY had the difficulty of also shooting through a bush, which can quite often make it a bit more difficult to hit where you're trying to hit or aim where you're trying to aim. And you see, using the bushes, and the vehicle's actually in camo anyway, he's able to shoot at these guys without getting spotted, and you see he keeps popping out to spot them, and then to keep him spotted for his team while he's got his reload, and then he backs up into the bush. So some great use of the bush mechanic here. And again, the issue is you don't see a lot of people going for this position anymore. At least not on my teams anyway, I've noticed. Now unfortunately FOODY bounces another 2 shots of KV-3, really to hit the upper plate there, but the shots just went a bit high. And she's going to jump back in the bush for spotting, while he waits for his reload. And that's what this tank is all about. It's got quite a long reload, like its DPM isn't very high, but you've got the mobility to relocate and the camo to stay hidden whilst you reload. And the best thing to do in this tank, because of the camo and the view range advantage this thing has over other mediums, this thing can spot really well. I mean, you can get really good assistance damage in this. And what that means is, while you're on your long reloads, just spot for your team. Find a bush, try and spot, rack up assistance damage while you're waiting for your reload, and then once it's done you can go back to try and find someone to shoot, and then just rinse and repeat. You fired your shots, go and spot. Now FOODY is going to get spotted here, because he doesn't have the bush on this side. But he does finish off the VK and goes for a reload. Now, I want you to keep an eye on the map. FOODY had a lot of teammates here, they've started to wilt away a little bit, and FOODY takes a shot in the ass. Now, we've still got some teammates here. So FOODY's turning around. Scare that guy off. He does have to be careful when he's on the edge here, aiming down. Already shouldn't have a shot at him, but in a tank this lightly armoured, and there's 2 artillery, yeah, and they're only tier 6 artillery, but as I said, this tank has no armour. FOODY finishes off the KV-3. He's going to fire the second shot. Straight to the side of the turret of the IS-3. And again, another reload. Now again, keep an eye on the map and the people, the enemies that is, behind him, who are pushing forwards. Now, FOODY's friendly UDED kills him, and that UDED is going to be a big help in this game, so keep an eye on what he's doing throughout the entire game. And I'm going to keep bringing mention to him, because honestly, he plays really well in supporting FOODY. Now, FOODY with the 190mm pen can go through the IS-3's upper plate when he's shooting down on him, but unfortunately, the second shot deviates to the left a little bit and hits straight in the middle instead of onto the angled upper plate. Now, enemy tank, Lance and C, pushing forward. But thankfully for FOODY, he's just about to be reloaded, which is just in time really because he's getting shot from multiple directions. Now he's going to try and run, but there's another enemy around here, not just the P-43, but only one of them hits him. And now he's on 314 hit points, and again, that means he's well within splash range of artillery. Speaking of, his GW Tiger just nuked the Italian medium. But FOODY's now using his mobility to relocate. Now the unit is just nearby, there's a TD over towards the bridge, and his artillery's up on the hill, near its base. And FOODY's team is still outnumbered. Now, FOODY's come to this position, he's clearly trying to see if he can spot anyone climbing up. However, the enemy gets spotted, an IS that is, coming across the bridge. They've had quite a few people come across the bridge, which is rather strange. I don't normally see that many people come across the bridge on Mountain Pass. Unfortunately, again, both shots are going to bounce. I said, like, even though the 190mm pen isn't great, it is enough to pen these tanks, just like the gun handling's kind of letting them down a little bit. Which, as I said, is to be expected. It's got horrible gun handling, but even if you're not a particularly good player, and you don't really play these kind of tanks, or you don't think you'll be able to play this kind of tank well, then it's probably not for you. But this tank's also fun just because of how fast it is. 2-tapping people with the autoloader feels good. You can race around, 2-tap and run. So even if you're not the super competitive kind of player, it's just a fun tank because speed is fun, as we all know from light tanks, I suppose. So again, just to reiterate, I'm pretty sure this tank is on offer in the store. So if you're after a new premium vehicle at tier 8, and you're not after any particular crew trainer, just after a fun vehicle, this is the one. I wouldn't get it for silver earning, because as I said, you might end up firing a lot of APCR, especially, well, premium APCR, especially in the tier 10 games. So don't get it for silver earning. And don't get it for 3 marking, unless you're a super competitive, like doing the hard stuff, because 3 marking this tank is... 3 marking any tank's an achievement for most people, but if you manage to 3 mark this thing, that's really good. As I said, it's got one of the highest mark requirements in the game at tier 8. So, yeah, I would really recommend buying it for fun. If you like a challenge, you want to try and 3 mark it. Or, again, if you do want crew training, then you might as well go with this vehicle. Now, the other nice thing about this tank is it's really good at killing artillery. Now, the tier 6 artillery enemy team, as his artillery kills himself, the tier 6 artillery is a one-shot for his 360 alpha shells. So he can actually one-shot both of them, so kill them both in one magazine. But even when you're fighting higher tier artillery, this thing's good because as long as you don't bounce or miss, you have enough to kill them, like any artillery in the game, in 2 shots, which means you can kill them in 2 seconds. Because I'm sure we've all been in that situation, you have to go kill an artillery who you know you can't one-shot. And you're scared you're going to go around, shoot him, he's going to push out and shoot you in the face. So this tank is quite nice when you run into the artillery, knowing that you can kill them reliably. Again, if you hit, I want to reiterate that if you get this vehicle, I'm talking about how great it is, just bear in mind the gun handling. 3.2 second aim time and 0.42 accuracy, because for me, I find it doesn't really affect me too much. I still think the gun handling's a lie almost to me. It feels a lot better, but I don't want you guys to buy it thinking the gun handling's great because I said it was. Statistically, the gun handling is awful, it just works for me. Now, FOODY was capping there, and the Cruncher was coming back to decap, and the UDED was in a perfect position to cut him off and shoot him in the side as he was coming back. And now, because of the position the UDED is in, he's also stopped the Bellerophon from coming round. So the UDED, being in that position, was super useful for this game, as FOODY forced the enemies to have to try and race back. That's really the one artillery left. We saw both artillery shells come from up on that little cliff bed, so we know he's up there. And now it's pretty much a guaranteed win, because even though it's a tier 6 French army, it fires pretty quick. Unless he killed the friendly tank there. Now there's two players left, both FOODY and his teammate. Even if the artillery kills one of them, the other guy can just come around and shoot him in the face. Pretty much a guaranteed win at this point, unless something horribly wrong happens. FOODY's loaded though, going around. He has to fire an APCR for the past little while because he ran out of standard. And one shot. So a very long game this, but played quite well. Some good support from his UDES. And that was with the gun handling trying to screw him. Now, this was over 2,000 base XP, 2,076 to be exact, and it was only a first class, just to show how hard it is to ace this vehicle. But 5,200 damage, 7 kills, very nice profit, 650 damage. Huge game, both in damage and XP and kills, and most importantly, FOODY got a Pascucci's. So again, check the comments, you'll find FOODY's pinned comment if you want to check out his channel. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So thank you guys for watching, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.